Hi, welcome to Inside the Minds of Authors, the interview show dedicated to get us up close and personal on what drives authors, where they get their ideas from, and the things that keep them going. I'm DC Gomez, an indie author, and come and join me in these fun conversations.
My name is Daniel Curtis. I'm from the Philippines, currently here in Australia, having a student visa. I'm going to read the prologue of my book. Here it goes. A pregnant woman in her apartment window with her daughter sitting at the balcony. Mommy, mommy, what is that? As the child wonders about what is happening. It is getting darker every minute. The stars are all going out, being replaced by a huge emerald glow. The child's pupils are lit green while watching the phenomenon. The mother, overflowing with tears, and hugs her child and says, "It's okay, baby. It won't hurt. It'll be over real quick, my dear." And she hugs her child even tightly. "Mommy, don't cry. Baby inside you will cry too." The 7-year-old daughter says with her quivering voice, "We'll both see your father real soon, baby. Just hug mommy really, really tight, okay?" The mother says with her tear-stained eyes, and she caresses her daughter's oblivious face. "We'll be in paradise soon. Us, as a complete family." The mother wraps her daughter again with her warm arms. "We'll see dad again? We're going to heaven?" The daughter asks. "Yes, we are, baby. Yes, we are." Queensland time, 1:43 a.m. An old man, having a cup of tea in his lounge room at a godly hour, wearing his veteran uniform with medals of honor patched up on his left chest, thick sign with a label of 1939, the very first year of the Second World War. On the left wall, a frame with an old picture of three young men in their 20s, with each other arms are placed on top of each other's neck, all wearing the same uniform, smiling in front of a camera that time, probably because of the unbelievable victory. Behind him is a radio still in tune. The NASA's instruction of staying indoors will not gonna help. How come staying inside your home be safe if it's the end of everything? Same thought. But that is why I suggest that be with your family for the last moments. Hug them, kiss them. The sound coming from the radio starts to fade for the old man's ears, and starts hearing his own heartbeat. Looking outside his window, the city glows in teal green as if it's drowning in the northern lights. I guess this is my time. I've lived long enough to atone for my sins, as he stares for the glowing city of the surfer's paradise. He turns his head over his left shoulder to glance at the picture hanging on the wall. "Well, I hope there will be beer on your table upon my arrival," he says, as if he's talking to the old picture. The people of the earth are all having their own ways of saying goodbyes to their loved ones. Meanwhile, a humongous rock twice the size of the moon, painted in glowing viridian, creating halos in the sky as it's slowly nearing towards the earth, bursting clouds of teal dust trail. It hits the moon, making it split. The other half with the impact causes it to derail course, and the other half broke into smithereens. The smaller pieces enter the stratosphere, making its way more quickly to hit the Earth because of its small size and density. As these pieces break the spheres of the Earth, creating red flares, people are watching the red showers raining from the sky. A priest comes out of the door of the Albay Cathedral, ripping his eyes wide enough to seal the image to his brain. This is, this is the revelation. We were right all along. So much for the non-believers. Ha! Begone, you sinners, and all the hypocrites. Die! The priest let go a screech, and thud! He's squashed by a fragment of the moon. With the massive damage from the rock shower, several cities or maybe countries are now in ruins. Some part in Rawis, Philippines, in an underground laboratory with running rats and cockroaches because of the tremors. A man in white lab coat and safety glasses tinkering a machine on his table. Piled up mechanical parts are all over the place, making it look like an old man's garage. A wooden crate labeled Republic of China, Whampoa Military Base, and below the wooden crate has the name Raging Steel. It's a man-made steel mixed from various other hardest mineral known by men, such as tungsten, chromium, titanium, and inconel. And it all came from the black market through the corrupted Bureau of Custom and Mysteries of the Philippines by getting illegal supplies from outside of the country. Behind the man is a steel capsule, and mostly, probably, its main ingredient is the Moravian steel that the man received from the overseas. The man pushes the button enter, then an artificial intelligence speaks the purpose of the button. Cryogenic system override as the light emitting diode turns red. Fuck! Thud! As the man slams his fist to the capsule. No, I can't give up just yet. The man clutches his back to face the computer and hastily starts to decode the problem through the system. It's only a matter of time that the asteroid will crush on Earth. The man risks a peek to the monitor to know the asteroid's approximate time, 1:30 T. Then it turns to 1:29. The man is sweating cold. His fingers are all in a hurry. Then thinking he probably fixed the problem and tries to press enter again. Cryogenic system. The man staring to the screen, ignoring the tremors, like focusing his desperation through his eyes, that he thinks it might help him from success. Complete. The light emitting diode turns green. As soon as he sees the notice of success, he approaches the capsule and grabs the lever at the side. With all of his might, he pulls it down. A buffering bar shows up in the main system monitor. Then he looks up the approximate time for the crash, 44 seconds, and turns to 43. He closes his eyes, hearing the artificial intelligence giving note for the time every 10 seconds, pouring all of his faith to the system itself. Right now, he can't do anything but to wait. Then the AI starts to speak. Cryonic subject confirmed. Applicable. Autopilot activated. The man loses his knees and presses his left hand to the capsule. Drenched in sweat, he reaches down to his lab coat pocket and grabs it. A stone glows in cyan, colors like the sunshine through the tidal waves. He's looking at it like his eyes are never used to it, even it is his own keeping. Remaining time, 20 seconds, said the AI. He heard it. Then he comes back to his focus and slides down a metal drawer under the steel capsule. Inside is a small pole with a hole at the core. He reaches his hand to it and pushes the stone into the hole. Material recognized, amphitrite, commence insert, says by the artificial intelligence. The steel drawer automatically closes. The man with unstable legs and thighs limps his way to the main system and presses F1. The capsule pushes out the oxygen from the inside, making a space vacuum. It is to produce hydrogen and helium to create frost. Whatever is inside the capsule, it was put in there to be preserved. Go, my son. Go and be their king, the man says as he caresses the smooth metal surface of the capsule. The tremors are growing stronger, and the cracks on the walls and floors are growing longer. 10 seconds before impact. 9, 8, 7, 6. The man is staring at the capsule for the last time. The asteroid creating a deafening sound as it enters the troposphere and mesosphere. People of the world shut their eyes in unison, clench their teeth, holding tight to their loved ones. Some are wailing in agony, the feeling of not getting away from the death flag. 5, 4, go and make the world better again. Be the man says with teary eyes and days. 3, 2, Project Adam complete, says the AI. Then silence. Somewhere within inside the Milky Way, a loud and bright light shines so beautiful yet saddening.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Minds of Authors. Today, we have the talented Mr. Daniel coming to us directly from Australia. So, did everybody enjoy that reading? Post apocalyptic, we're starting in the middle of literally the world destroying. So, Daniel, tell us, where did this story come from?
My book series name is Left Behind by Time, Book 1. Title is The Another. It's a medieval fantasy, adventure, action, horror, thrill, tragedy, politics, sex, and gore. In the beginning, the present day, which we all know, where the governance of democracy, laws, and human rights are all properly implemented, and where the technology is all superior, that world which we live in will succumb into nothingness. In my book, it is an asteroid which will be the cause of the Earth's coming void. So the asteroid, before hitting the Earth, crashes the moon first and made a split and causes it to derail course, making the debris to fall to be like the fire and brimstones that kind of look like gatling the Earth's crust or continent, and finally the asteroid which annihilated all the living things. And that is literally the prologue of my book. In the story, after a million of years, there comes the new civilization or the new era of humans. So that asteroid was like a refresh button for the Earth. So that new era of humans also built their own governance. I just called it as federal government. And that government literally rules all the lands of the new Earth. But I call it the new Gaia. I also made my own map for that. It's in my website. The thing is, the federal government isn't like any normal council because it is also led by a king called a god king or the supreme ancient one. And he's still a mystery in my book, so I won't say anything about him. The thing is, why this federal government is so superior because they have a superb army called the clusters, and that army possesses powers. Do you want to know where the powers came from?
Sure. Tell us.
Oh.
Come on out. You can't leave us hanging.
It's from the asteroid. So the asteroid have strange kind of new element in it that was never in our scientific table. So the federal uses that as a battery for their powers. That's the whole picture.
That is a lot all in one book. That is amazing.
Thank you.
So you're adding religion, you're adding theology, we're adding a little bit of controversy when it comes to the end of the world. So who is the main character here?
The protagonist is a little mystery. He'll start being as a 14 years old. He was brought up alone by his grandfather, who was a former leader of the elites of the garrison. And the protagonist's father, who's also a mystery, because he's been missing for 14 years after a great battle. The battle was named the Battle of Mount Ishnar. And it was the protagonist's father who led that battle to victory. But no one knows where his whereabouts because he was named as a traitor by the federal government. So things went bad and all. So the 14-year-old boy needs to embark to a roller coaster of sufferings for me to make progress for him and for the audiences to love him. Because at first he's kind of a bratty child, probably because of the way he was brought up by a grandparent.
I like where you're taking the book. So you gave us a whole bunch of different categories. So you said fantasy, you said thriller. So tell us, who are you targeting for this book? Who is your audience?
So it depends, mostly probably 18, 25 above.
So a young adult category is what you're looking at, with a whole bunch of fantasy in it, which is fabulous. So is this part of a series or you're doing a standalone book? How does it work?
Divided it in 3 plots. I'm doing the first book, the another. So the series is named Left Behind by Time.
This is your first novel. This is the first one you put together, getting ready to do a whole trilogy out of this. How do you feel about it?
It's hard to describe, you know. I feel awesome. Just that.
So when you're looking for ideas, where do they come from?
For me, writing is not just about the art and literature. I think it's being your own God. I know it's a weird philosophy, but you're literally creating your own world. You get to decide what will be the outcome of or progress in the long run. But there is one guy that really amazed me. His name is J.R.R. Tolkien. The way he made the Lord of the Rings is really immeasurable. Like no one can really beat that feat on how he made the Middle Earth so immense. So many things happen in history, in the present, in his book. And Stephen King. It's really cool how he published a book in just 3 months.
Those are amazing inspirations. I was going to ask you that. What authors inspire you? So you already answered that for us. So when you decided to start writing, did somebody motivate you to get started?
No one. I feel like the story that I'm trying to do now, it's been within me and I just didn't notice it.
That is awesome. So tell me, do you have a favorite book?
Yeah, it's called Sword Art Online. The thing is, the author is really doesn't have a name. Pretty cool how he made it, and he doesn't want to be known. It's kind of really deep science.
I like that. So when do you think this book is coming out?
I'm pretty sure before December.
So if our listeners were looking for it, where would they find it? Where would they find something about you?
I have my website, which is www.leftbehindbytime.wordpress.com. I have my trailers in there, and the map that I made is there too. There's a chapters button. When click, it'll go straight to my Wattpad. Also, my link for my Facebook page is in the website as well. That's where I post updates if a new chapter is out, so you guys can all check it out yourself.
I like it. I like it. So we have a fun round getting ready to start. I call it literally the lightning round. They're really easy questions. I don't want you to think too much about it. So I'm just going to ask a couple things, and whatever comes to your mind is what you're going to answer. Are you ready?
I'm shivering.
So, hiking or camping?
Camping.
Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast.
Star Trek or Star
Star
Wars?
Wars.
Okay. Sweet or sour?
Sweet.
Okay, so here's a tough one. If you could pick one animal to describe you, what would you pick?
A wolf.
Nice, very good. So, Daniel, any advice for up and coming authors that are getting ready to start writing?
I think some authors may think of the profit really, but and what will be the audience's feedbacks. But it's kind of like you're being submissive to the opinion of others, and it's really a heavy feeling, which is I really don't like. So just write whatever you want. Just be free because writing is like another definition of freedom in this kind of industry.
So, Daniel, do you have any closing remarks?
I'm really thankful for the opportunity of for being in your program. And I just wanted to greet my good friends in the Philippines. Hello. And to my beautiful wife and my lovely 5-month-old son. And to my mom and dad. And of course, to my hardworking editor, Aladdin. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a pleasure. I'm glad you got to talk to us from Australia. It has been amazing. I want to wish you all the amazing luck as you get ready to hit that publish button. And for all of our listeners, thank you so much for joining us inside the minds of authors. Hope you guys stay tuned for another
Can I,
episode. Thank you, everyone.